What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to answer some of your frequently asked questions that I've been receiving regarding specifically for stimulus content. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down some of your questions regarding the EIDL and the PPP, as well as some of the questions that I've received regarding this latest $2 trillion infrastructure bill that was announced by President Joe Biden last week. So let's get started. So before we begin, I would like to preface that over the last few days, I've been compiling some of your frequently asked questions, some of the questions that I get via direct message, via the comment sections of my videos, as well as the community tab on my channel. And with these questions, I feel like they always come in two different groups: the stimulus related questions and then the general related questions. So questions regarding things like the camper van, Turo, just general business or investing questions, and more. So in this video, I'm going to be addressing just the stimulus related questions. I'm not going to be addressing the questions regarding Turo, the camper van, and other things like that. I will address those in a different video later this week. So if you're interested in learning about that, then make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell so that you do not miss a single video. Now with that, let's dig in with the hottest topic that I feel like I consistently talk about on this channel, which is the EIDL program, or the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Now today is actually a pretty big day for EIDL, and this is the day where the larger loan amounts are being issued, or at least starting to be issued. You see, last year, whenever the CARES Act was passed, the loan amount through the EIDL loan program, which remember means it's a loan that you have to pay back, the cap was $2 million, which means that you could theoretically receive $2 million through the EIDL program, which means you receive $2 million worth of low interest loans that you could pay back over a 30-year period of time. Whenever the EIDL program became so popular, though, the SBA had to go back and revise that, and they made the cap $150,000 instead. That meant that no matter how big your company was, no matter how much your company grossed in sales, no matter how many resources it needed, the max that you could qualify for was $150K. Now, for some people, this was more than enough, but for others, it was not enough at all. Well, recently in the last couple of days, the SBA actually changed the rules again, and they increased the cap to $500,000. Now, the really great news about this isn't just the fact that the loan cap is increasing. It's the fact that if you are somebody who received a smaller loan amount because of the previous $150,000 cap and you would like to get more money, you could potentially claim that money through this cap increase. Now, how this is going to work is that starting today, April 6th, the SBA will start contacting people that are eligible for more funds through the EIDL loan program. They will contact you via email, similarly to how they've contacted people for the EIDL cash advance, and they will give you the option of requesting more funds. Now, as of right now, it's not exactly clear what type of documentation they will request, if any, if they're going to just base it off of your first application, or if they're going to request more tax info, or how that's exactly going to work. But if you are somebody who received a lower loan amount because of that $150K cap, then I would keep an eye on your inbox, because there is a high likelihood that the SBA will be contacting you in the coming days or in the coming weeks, and they may propose the idea of you receiving up to $500,000 rather than up to $150K, which is a hugely significant increase. Now, once again, to reiterate, there is no action that is needed to be taken on your end to claim more money through the EIDL loan program. If you qualify for more funds, the SBA will contact you directly. If you don't qualify, then you won't hear anything from them. So do not go and fill out another application. Do not contact the SBA. Do not submit a letter of reconsideration. The SBA will contact you. And next is the question of when should you apply for PPP forgiveness? This is a question that I have been getting so much lately. It's absolutely crazy. I've been getting questions on Instagram in the comment section of my videos. I've been getting them emailed to me. It has hands down been the most frequently asked question I've received over the last month. Now, whenever we talk about PPP forgiveness, it's important to remember two figures. Number one is that whenever you are taking into account the PPP, specifically PPP forgiveness, your covered period, meaning the period in time you have to use those funds in order for them to be forgiven, is 8 to 24 weeks. You have to spend those funds in an 8 to 24 week period of time in order to get those funds forgiven. If you spend those funds in a 26-week period of time, then the funds that were spent between the 24th week and the 26th week will not be forgiven. That is very important to understand. The second figure that you need to remember is a 10-month deferment. Every single PPP loan is deferred for 10 months, meaning that you do not have to make a single payment on that loan until 10 months after you've received it. This is true whether you are a solo entrepreneur, whether you own a company, whether you have employees. It is that same 8 to 24 week period of time and that same 10-month deferment. Now, whenever we talk about forgiveness in the context of a solo entrepreneur, it can be a bit tricky because of the fact that oftentimes the PPP is given out to solo entrepreneurs, meaning people without employees, in the context of it being used for owner compensation replacement, meaning that the funds aren't really being spent over the course of 8 to 24 weeks. Instead, they're just kind of put into your bank account, and then what you do from there is up to you because of the fact that it's your owner compensation replacement. So theoretically, the second that those funds hit your account, you've already spent them in accordance to PPP rules. Now, here is where this question often comes up, and this is where I've been getting this question so often, is the question of, well, I just received my PPP, I'm a solo entrepreneur, when can I apply for forgiveness and when can I apply for the second round? Can I do that now? Can I do that next week? Can I do that in a month? What does that look like? In my opinion, and again, this is just the opinion of a YouTuber, it is not accounting advice, it is not legal advice, it is nothing like that. I personally feel, even though technically using those funds in that manner is an adequate way per PPP guidelines, I feel as though applying for forgiveness for your PPP loan within a couple of days of receiving those PPP funds is not a good idea. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I'm just a dumb YouTuber that is giving free advice on the internet. In my opinion, I don't think that there's any real rush to apply for the PPP forgiveness. You have an 8 to 24 week period of time to spend those funds. You have a 10-month deferment period. Applying for forgiveness is not a contingency in applying for the second draw of PPP funds. And so it's not like you had to have applied for forgiveness in order to qualify for the second draw of PPP. That's not the case. You can have had the first draw PPP, you did not have to qualify for forgiveness yet and still qualify for the second draw. Like, they are not correlated to one another. The only requirement is that you had to have had spent all of the PPP funds in order to qualify for the second draw. I just think, in my personal opinion, there is no rush to applying for forgiveness. As long as you do it in that 10-month period of time, you're golden. And in the meantime, you can make sure that you have your bases covered, that you've spent the money in the way in which it's meant to be spent, that you've done everything that you need to do to qualify for 100% forgiveness. The fact is, whenever you start rushing something, that's whenever you make mistakes. And in the case of a PPP, mistakes can lead to you having to pay the loan back, which is not a good situation to be in. So ultimately, when it comes to PPP forgiveness, you can do what you want. If you spent the money and you feel confident about your ability to get forgiveness, then sure, apply for forgiveness. But again, I would not rush the process. I always recommend for people, if you have a doubt, if you have a question, contact a banker, contact a lender, contact an accountant or a lawyer. At the end of the day, I am just a YouTuber, so even though my videos have been helpful to a lot of people, they should not be used as like the golden standard of what to do, and you should certainly reach out to a certified expert if you have any doubts about forgiveness and applying for forgiveness with the PPP. That's my number one recommendation. And the last thing I want to talk about is stimulus checks, more specifically that third stimulus check that we received about a month ago. Now, at this point in time, most Americans have received their stimulus check, but there are still a lot of Americans out there that have not received it. Now, if you are somebody who has not received your stimulus check, I would check the Get My Payment portal, because there are a handful of checks that are being sent out this week that did not get sent out over the last few weeks for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I have heard from a number of people that their check was set to be sent out today and yesterday, Monday, April 5th and Monday, April 6th. So if you have not received your check yet, I would encourage you to look at the Get My Payment portal. Additionally, if you're somebody who never receives it, if in a month you still have not received your stimulus check, contact your local congressional offices. They can absolutely help you expedite that process. They give it the white glove treatment. They make sure that your check and your claim is prioritized. And I have heard a number of different instances of people who contacted the representative and then they received their check in a matter of weeks. So if you have not done so, I would highly encourage you to look into that. Now, these 3 frequently asked questions kind of cover the gist of what I've been receiving recently in regards to stimulus content. If you guys have a specific question regarding Turo, the camper van, any of the other businesses that I'm working on, drop a comment down below because I will answer those in a coming video in the next few days or within the week. So if you want a question answered, make sure to leave a comment down below. Like always, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is aubrey.janik. You can also check out my car sharing masterclass where I teach you guys how to start a semi-passive car sharing business. That link is down in the description below as well. But like always, you guys, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, then make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.